Two Democratic senators have reached what they called an inescapable conclusion that the country of Israel is ethnically cleansing Palestinians from Gaza and that the United States is complicit. So both Chris Van Hollen of Maryland and Jeff Merkley of Oregon, who are members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, came to this conclusion after coming home from a trip to Egypt, Israel, the occupied West Bank, and Jordan. In their report, they noted that the destruction in the area goes beyond just using bombs and bullets, but that there is a systemic campaign to strangle humanitarian aid, which they are calling using food as a weapon of war. The Netanyahu government has gone far beyond targeting Hamas to imposing collective punishment on all the people of Gaza, Van Hollen said at the Thursday press conference. What they're doing and what we witnessed is putting those goals into action. At least 100 people have died from the famine in Gaza, the United Nations said this week, citing the Gaza Health Ministry. Senators argued that Israel's actions in Gaza constitute a deliberate strategy to ethnically cleanse the local population rather than collateral damage from the war against Hamas. During their visit to the Egypt-Gaza border, they observed Rafah, for example, right? That was the southern Gaza city who was once home to 270,000 Palestinians. Rafah has been reduced to rubble, okay? And so, I mean, that right there, that's a huge problem. A huge problem, okay? And just an absolute humanitarian disaster and an example of Israel targeting civilian infrastructure. Now, the lawmakers also met with former Israel Defense Force soldiers who described participating in, quote, the systemic destruction of civilian infrastructure. The report noted firsthand accounts of how this was part of an intentional pattern of using explosives to destroy up to whole city blocks, houses, schools, and other civilian sites, like hospitals, for example. Okay. Now, they also documented arbitrary restrictions that have left aid groups unable to predict what will be denied entry. Jordanian officials, for example, told them that peanut butter, honey, and dates were suddenly banned from convoys, from food convoys. So you had entire trucks that were turned away for carrying a single restricted item. Each truck, the report said, is subject to $400 customs processing fees, and when they are not able to make it out through the screening process, that $400 has to be paid again to join a later convoy. Because of those and other restrictions by the Israeli government, humanitarian aid coming in from Jordan is currently operating under the 10% capacity of its capacity, according to the report. Not only that, but the report noted that the UN's fleet of trucks have sustained severe damage, with United Nations organization showing senators video of convoys coming under fire from, not from Hamas, but the IDF, something they describe as a regular occurrence. So you have Israeli troops attacking food aid convoys on the regular. The regular. Now, the senators also toured a warehouse run by the Egyptian Red Crescent and the UN World Food Program with goods that have been banned by Israel. They are things like water pumps, tents, wheelchairs, and even spare parts for vehicles under something called dual use restrictions. The Israeli port of Ashdod, WFP officials told the senators that about 2,200 shipping containers of food, enough to feed everyone in Gaza for about 3 weeks, sat delayed and rotting by screening procedures requiring each pallet to be checked individually. Markey described the strategies to components: one, to destroy homes so they that they cannot be returned to. That second strategy is then to deprive Palestinians of essentials to live, like food, water, and medicine. Yes, to try to get them to not return so that Israel can go and take their land. That's really it. Now, Israel also replaced the UN's hundreds of distribution sites with just 4 aid points for 2 million people, 3 located only in southern Gaza. The senators heard accounts from malnourished mothers unable to walk miles to distribution sites while carrying their kids, and then lifting 40-pound food boxes for the return journey. From May 22nd to July 31st, 1,373 people were killed in the vicinity of these aid sites, according to the UN, and that's because you had Israeli soldiers that were targeting those people. The report reads that Israel and the United States are calling plans for the mass displacement of Palestinians in Gaza a voluntary exodus is one of the most fraudulent, sinister, and twisted cover stories ever told. There is nothing voluntary about wanting to depart when your home is gone, when your agricultural fields are no longer accessible, said Van Hollen at a press conference. Exactly. This right here is what we've been talking about for a long time. This has gone so far beyond October 7th. Okay, it's not about the hostages. It's never been about the hostages. It's not even about Hamas. It is about getting rid of all the Palestinians so they can come in and steal the land. That's the reality of it. This is why it is ethnic cleansing. And finally, some of the elected Democrats are openly admitting it. We could have used this energy during the Biden administration, okay? And admitting that, yes, the United States has been helping with this by sending money and weapons to Israel. And they have used that money and those weapons to perform these atrocities. This is what Joe Biden was doing. Okay? This is what Joe Biden was doing, and now what Trump is still doing. Okay? Both parties. Let me understand. This is not a, Republican versus Democrat thing, right? Both parties have been complicit in this. Both parties. Every time they voted to send money and weapons to Israel, innocent people die. That's what happens. And so, yes, it is the fault of both sides in this. And I don't normally like to play the both sides game. But in this case, it absolutely applies. Both sides have been too beholden to the right-wing government of Israel and have been sending them weapons and money that they have been using to do ethnic cleansing. It has to stop. And it has to stop now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.